Hello, hi. This is Tracy with Traces of Inspiration. Today, I wanted to talk about ways to possibly support someone who is grieving. Um, some may know, some may not know, but I lost my mother she passed away by cancer. And I also lost my stepdad. He passed away with cancer. And I also lost my grandmother. She just passed away, just being older. Um, Lost a cousin. Um, I lost an aunt from cancer. So I've had some losses. But I feel like not taken away from the others, but one of the most devastating ones have been the loss of my mother. And on this journey of healing from that grief, I have had discussions with, loved ones, friends who have tried to be there or who have wanted to be there and just not really knowing how. So I just, through reflecting or, I'm always reflecting and I'm always having conversations. But through reflection and through conversations, um, you know, I I came up with some things, that I know that help me or that's helping me. I'm still trying to maneuver, figure it out, but these things have helped to an extent, and I just thought that I would share. So my mom's birthday is coming up, and I've already been kind of like feeling the weight of that, and I've tried to like push it to the side to the best of my ability, but it's this weight. I even prayed hard about it, believe me. But it's this weight that I feel. And I remember having a conversation with my cousin, and I appreciate my cousin because she knows, like, she gets it. She unfortunately lost her mother, and she's just been a tremendous support. But she knows, and she was like, Trace, this may help you, this may not help you, but I really want to be supportive. And, do you mind if I keep track, of the important dates or dates that are important to you, as it correlates with your mom? And, like check in on those days. I reflected and I thought about it and I was like, man, like that kind of is a great way of supporting because, that person, you know, gonna use me for now, but not realizing, like I said, feeling like the weight of things. Her birthday is about to show up, and holidays are coming up too. Um, I appreciate my cousin for that because um, it's true. That is a form of support, of acknowledgement, and that gives that opportunity to kind of like, hey, you good, checking in. Maybe no one else checked in, but I'm thinking about you, or hey, I want to be there for you. That's a great way. Um, Also, sometimes just simply asking, but I will say that, people do ask me from time to time, how can I support you? How can I be there for you? And I just feel like I don't know how. So that's sometimes a tricky thing because a person who's grieving may not know how to articulate or tell you that they need you to be there for them. Um, I know that that's kind of been my struggle, but I do know that, my love languages, is physical touch, verbal affirmation, and quality time. Like those are equally, especially verbal affirmation and quality time, those are like just equally um, the same in percentage and closely that follows physical touch. So I've known that uh, your love language is a way of feeling the love. So, I thought to myself, like, okay, being around people around those days could definitely help, or thinking so much about what I'm dealing with or going through. Um, that could be the quality time, the verbal affirmation, hey, I'm here for you, or hey, or just acknowledgement, verbal affirmation, just acknowledging like, hey, today may be a tough day, today may not be a tough day, but I'm just thinking about you, just know I'm here. That's a form of support. Hugs, physical touch, keep clean. Hugs, getting hugs, just the nearby presence of somebody that definitely could serve as a support. Um, and silence sometimes too. I had a person in my life who I'm so grateful for, who he just, he's a good friend, a great friend. I have great people in my life. Um, he just sat in silence with me. Sitting in that silence was just like, I guess that's the quality time to an extent, but just sat in silence. So it was kind of like a moment of silence, I guess, or just waited to figure out what I would say or the support that I needed. But that has helped. Um, journaling, finding ways to commemorate has helped. I tried the whole going to the gravesite. Personally, that doesn't work for me. Um, it was triggering, but there's just so many different things. Just feeling supported throughout the year, that has been helpful. I'm sharing this video because I've known, there's people, you may have recently faced a loss, or it's probably fresh, or it could even be a couple of years, but you're wondering, like, how could people support me, or what do I think I need in order to heal? It could just come in different forms. Give yourself grace. But some of those things that I mentioned could be helpful. It's not easy, but the first step is acknowledging, like, okay, I feel some type of way about this situation. I'm still grieving. And then it cycles. Oof. Grief, there's the 5 stages of grief, and you can visit them at any stage, or stay in a prolonged one, unfortunately, for an amount of time. But it's anger, bargain, denial, depression, and acceptance. And sometimes they come back around, or you can face some throughout the day, throughout months or even years. It takes time, but I just feel like support looks like being present, intentionally present for the person. It looks like acknowledgement, acknowledging the how they may feel or may not feel, about the situation or about the loss, and just being there to the best of your ability. And I just wanted to, record this video because, man, like, grieving is not easy. It's difficult, and I don't wish it on anyone, but it's a part of life. But yeah, love languages definitely help as support because people's needs vary. Um, but definitely not being alone, getting some space, but technically not leaving that person alone is very important. And in whatever capacity, and being patient with that person because they may not know how to articulate what they need. But I mean, I hope I was able to give some nuggets or some tools to know how to support someone that you love who has lost someone who is important to them, and is grieving, and you just want to be there for them. just, the first step is starting some of those tools that I presented, and then also a support group. They could benefit from a support group. A lot of support groups exist that help with, grieving, losing someone, and they're free. Or, I'm a therapist. I'm always going to advocate for therapy, individual counseling, family counseling, group therapy. All those things could help. So hopefully you got something. And once again, this is Tracy with Traces of Inspiration. And I know that holidays are hard. The holidays are approaching, and I know that it's difficult for me, but definitely having a village around me and me boldly saying I am not okay has helped. Not saying that the emotions have gone, because those feelings that are attached are still there, but it helps me to get through that wave of despair, anger, and different things that I've been dealing with. But ultimately, grieving is walking, taking a day by day, step at a time, and walking through the process. And definitely prayer, God, and your prayer support, people who pray for you. Those prayers, especially when you cannot pray, the Word of God helps, along with the practicals. The professional mental health therapist, licensed clinical social worker, or a family therapist, and just a great group of support will help. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. But I just try to push through the pain. And I just know that, grieving is a part of life, and losing people, unfortunately, is a part of life. But there is a way to get through it, and never try to do it alone. We cannot do life alone. So thank God for support. And I hope that you have support. And I hope that at least one thing I said could help, a person who's grieving, or help a person who wants to support someone who's grieving.